I love how this film perfectly captures how in times when it gets hard or the most adult of times, we often go back to childhood. Like this film poetically cuts to moments of the sisters playing together when the intensity and the emotions kick up. And then there's a key moment when one of the sisters speaks to the other as if they're children again, where she says, "Honey, let's go home." And it's so crushing. But I'm curious for you about using childhood and the innocence of the time because it's before we face some of the harsh realities of life and ideas get put into our heads as this poetic tool in this, I don't know, like to get a greater understanding of the love between these characters and the truth that we all go back in time to times of simplicity and innocence when it gets tough.
That's part of what Fresh Kills is, in the name. Yes, it was a dump, but it's also the taking away of innocence, because those all of us start very innocent, and then it's the world that you're born into that shapes you and creates what you're gonna be. And what if you don't want that? That's in essence what the movie is about, because I did grow up around families like this, and the anger I saw from the young women from fathers like this was brutal. And I just always chalked it up to, oh, well, their fathers are in the mafia. Maybe that's why they're angry. And it was like, no, as I got older, I realized that wasn't it. It was because of choice. They didn't get to choose their fate. And that's really the essence of the movie. And that's why I do show the children a lot, because we think as children we have the world in front of us. We think we're told you could do anything, just like Francine says, you could do anything you want. That's not really true, because
Yeah.
society tells you who you're going to be, how you're going to be, whether they do it blatantly or they do it in because of class, because of money, because of your skin color, because of your gender. You are placed in a line, and I don't agree with that. So that's what the movie is about to me.
Hmm.
And Rose didn't agree with that. So taking it back to childhood and taking it and showing these young girls at a place where they thought they could fly
Yeah.
is the beauty of that, because she can't. She can't.
Hmm. Yeah. What about in, excuse me, like the other part of this film that I find very honest is seeing the moment where you view your parents as saints, and then the moment that comes where you see them as human beings, vulnerable, flawed, and the exploration of that in this film is very beautiful and poetic too. And so I'm just curious about like a good example would be the scene with Francine telling the story about the modeling talent scout and things like that. And then we get the bigger story of that when Joe comes in and the walls kind of come crashing down and we see your character's reaction to that. And that's like one of those moments where it's like, oh, my kids are getting a peek into something that I wasn't ready for them to see yet. So I'm curious about like tapping into that honesty in creating a moment like that that causes me as a viewer to kind of reflect on some of the moments in my life where I can pinpoint where that kind of happened to me.
It really, it's a great question, because we do all have that moment, right? Where we see our parents as like, oh, oh, that's who you really are. You're human, you make mistakes, because it's not the way a child sees their parents. So yes, that is one of those moments, but it was really in the painful thing to me in there was Francine was really trying with that story to give her daughter tools
Hmm.
to think bigger. She didn't know how. And I think even in Francine's mind, she had to believe that there was more for her. But then we find out that there really wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's a shame. It's a very, very big shame for Francine. And for Rose to witness that shame, it was too painful. So Francine shuts it down a lot. But Rose is that heartbeat of the movie that
Yeah.
she's walking through going, no, but I see it. No, but I see you and I see dad and I see who you all are. And I always told Emily, the actress who plays Rose, even in that last scene when she says to him, did you see me in the car that day? It is
Mhm.
very important. It's not like, because she's a, oh, why did she hold on to that? Because that is the moment that things changed for her. She knew she always felt scared, but she didn't know why. That day was like, no, I'm right. I feel
Yeah,
scared, and now I know I'm right. Please just tell me I'm right. Please just tell me you saw me back. And I said to Emily, if Joe were to say to you that day, you know what? I did see you, but you don't have any idea what my life is. I'm trying to protect you. You may not understand. And if he explained, she may have stayed. She
yeah,
just wanted someone to say, I see you. I see what you're seeing. You are right. But no one could.
yeah,
No one.
yeah,
And that's the problem with so many relationships. We can't see our flaws and we can't own up to it. And we can't say, this is who I am. I'm trying my best. And that would probably, help the situation. But many of us cannot do that. So we write it off as your problem or their problem or the world's problem, but not maybe our inability to face reality.